What's up, fellow lords of the game, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So I've been away for real life things for a little bit here, so I haven't been able to jump on some of the content, but I wanted to jump in here real quick because we got the event quest, and the good thing about the event quest is that we got the new event shop, and in that event shop I'm not purchasing any of this shite. Like, I'm just not. I'm not a whale. But if you happen to want some of this stuff inside of here, then go ahead and make those purchases. To be honest with you, I don't think that there's a negative downside on some of the purchases for the event shop items, especially if you just want to get extra premium comic cards or dimension chest CTPs. I'm not so much of a fan of the special icon here for I'm thinking highly on like looking at trying to get towards Miles Morales' artifact. I haven't really wanted an artifact as much as I wanted Miles, just to be able to say I have the artifact for no other reason. Any of the other artifacts that are inside the shop, I don't really see like a viability of why you would need these artifacts at all. So I don't think that that's a worthy purchase. I'm not a huge big fan. Now, what I was really liking inside of here, and most of the other items in here are just trash as well, but what I was really happy to see inside of here was that Spot he's inside of the shop. So you can get Spot in here for 50 of the and you can get his bios, which basically allows you to unlock and recruit the character. So despite them putting him inside the store, you know, they've basically given everyone an access point to him, which I'm very happy to see, because to be truthful, at this point, putting characters who are only getting potential transcendence, tier 2s and stuff like that doesn't really make sense when we've got the wealth of T3s and T4 characters inside the game. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I was really happy to see that they gave us the opportunity to be able to get Spot inside of here in the game. Now it also opens up the ability for how do you actually level up this character if you don't want to make the purchase for the weekly. Remember, you really don't have to. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Now that you have the character, because they basically gave him away for you, really easy ways of leveling up the character. So number one, you can use rank up tickets, right? So if you've been saving up inside the game, you may have a 6-star mega rank up ticket. These are great inside of here. Or you may end up with just the normal rank up tickets. Since they've made the 2-star rank up ticket available inside the game, this is really cool inside there. But for me, I'm just going to use a mega rank up ticket inside here. But remember, you have either one of the two paths in order to rank that character up. To be honest with you, for saving some resources and stuff like that, so that way you can start getting tier 2 to tier 3 characters, these are probably the better ways of leveling up characters and just for you to amass a certain amount of resources. So once you've got my man Spot to ranks to leveled up over here, you can still keep going away at that, right? So you can use a mega advancement tier 2 mega advancement ticket. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, is Spot worth the tier 2 mega advancement ticket? I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, there's no amount of power that you're gonna be able to show me behind this character that's gonna make warrant tier 2 mega advancement ticket being needed for him. Now I have pretty much the majority of the characters at tier 2 or above because I've been playing the game for so long. So any of the mega advancement tickets that I have now currently, doesn't really matter for me to hold on to them at any point because I just don't need to. That's going to probably be your best way to get this character ranked up. Now there's also the normal tier 2 advancement tickets that you would need, but you would also need to get the mastery and stuff like that up along with the gears. So the mega advancement ticket is probably going to be your best bet to getting the character all the way to level 60 tier 2. Once you have that, you should be pretty good to go with what the character's needed. Now remember that Spot actually comes with his potential transcendence as well for the character. So let's take a look at the character really quickly so that way you can see. Now also note that this nets us at least 60 crystals inside of here, which isn't too bad for basically getting a free freaking character. Like, they gave you the character and then they basically gave you 60 crystals if that was your means of doing it. Oh, I forgot to get my rewards from Miles. All right, because I tier 4 Miles today. Thank God, right? So let's go take a look at Spot anyways, right? So what I want to show you, and the reason why like I'm concerned about Spot in the game, is because if I go inside here, let's mash this out by speed type villains is what I want to see, right? So we go speed type villains overall, and this is where we end up with Spot. What is the likelihood that Spot is going to come back around in this game? So before you go into tier 3ing, or excuse me, transcending Spot, right? What is the likelihood that Spot is going to receive a uniform? Probably 0. There is very little to indicate that this character overall meets any of the demand that you would need to have him for, let alone the fact that we're probably never going to see a uniform for this character again. Like none. I mean none. Like like I cannot for the life of me imagine him getting a uniform. And this is going to bring up a problem that I continue to say, because I'm gonna try to look this up real quick. I almost forgot about this. Is because he was like a bit villain, right? So he's a bit villain inside of the movies, right? And he was just there, like, I don't know. It's like it's weird, right? Because he's a bit villain and he doesn't really have much inside the way of that. So it's like, what are you really getting with this character in terms of that? There's not going to be a chance where these characters revisit, especially when you look at the speed villain database in here. Like, I fully expect Spider-Gwen to hit a uniform level, but let's just compare him to the male, since he's a speed type villain and he's male. So Kraven, we fully expect to probably get a uniform here in the future when his movie's released. I cannot for the life of me imagine that Kraven will not get one. He will more than likely end up with a uniform. And that means that he will at the very minimum go to tier 3 or tier 4 as well when he gets his uniform. He will probably be instantly better than freaking Spot. We look at some of the other characters in here, for like Bullseye. I would reasonably expect to see something for maybe Bullseye before I saw something for him. I would reasonably expect something for Vulture before I said something for him. Meanwhile, I still have characters with inside here, like, you know, I could end up coming back to Corvus Glaive. We could see that. I don't think that we're going to see anything for Electro here in the near future. Just don't see it. But we have other characters to come back to. So it's not like a big mainstay for me to upgrade this character. Now, let's take a look at his skills inside here really quickly. We've done this already and did some of the impressions. I want to say this truthfully because I don't look at the characters in terms of, this is a point that I want to make, right? Oh no. Okay. When we look at a character like Spot, I don't tend to judge the characters simply and solely based on their power levels and kits, and I think this could be a place where Marvel Future Fight can shine. We are essentially playing a toon collector, a Barbie collector, right? That's what we're doing, and we place those characters inside the environment, and we basically say, well, you've got this uniform, this uniform, this uniform, you paid. I think that they would do a better job again by initiating transmog uniforms, because I think there's a wealth of content, especially in the past 3-5 years, where they can apply more uniforms to characters and create content quicker for players to just be released, especially at the rate that they are, because they're basically doing it in alignment with the movies and not in alignment with the comic book series. But I think attaching on to the comic book series would have of greater value. Why do I say something like that, right? So for instance, Miles Morales in his current comic continuity is currently receiving a uniform. He's got the Iron Spider suit for Miles Morales. Like, Iron Man saves Miles Morales' life and give him a brand new suit at the same time, and Miles Morales, Spider-Man #7 from Marvel Comics. So the Iron Spider suit was one of my favorite suits that initially came out for Spider-Man back in, like, I think it was like Civil War. When Civil War got released, Iron Man basically gave Spider-Man the spider suit, and I thought it was really amazing. We got to see the spider suit inside the movies, and I thought it was great there. But what this allows us to do is, I've done a video about this before as well, is that you'll notice, for instance, right, there's like a bunch of costume variations that are currently going on in the comic universe. So for instance, Cyclops, who still hasn't got his tier 4 for some reason. I thought he should have got it along with Jean Grey. But you basically have the Hellfire Gala that comes out every year now, and they release multiple uniforms for the character. Well, if you go over to Luciano Vecchio's page, you'll notice that he basically did a redesign on the comics, which feels like a little bit, to me, like, no shit to Luciano. I think he does a good job of what he did, but it feels a little bit like Black Bolt's uniform, right, from Alex Ross. So, but we get a very cool look uniform for Cyclops inside of there. There's a lot of Hellfire Gala uniforms. You can see here the Rogue uniform, and you can even see Captain Marvel donning her own looking uniform. But the Hellfire Gala uniforms have been very popular. The Hellfire Galas have been very popular over the past couple of years. Like, it's given artists the chance to basically, like, you know, redefine some of the costume looks for the characters, and I think it's really cool. Like, you get some really interesting designs for the characters, and I think that is something that the players would love to see inside the game. So here you got the Fall of X comic, and you can see the Cyclops uniform. It looks absolutely amazing. Like, why are we not getting the Cuckoo Sisters? So, like, these uniforms, I think, would give the ability for characters who haven't gotten a lot of shine to basically receive uniforms, especially if you were to develop a transmog system for some of these uniforms, where instead of the power being directly tied to the uniform, it's just tied to the character overall for the updates. So yeah, everybody gets the character's update, but then everybody can go in and purchase these new uniforms. Or if you if you are doing that, at least give it a reason that the transmog system will allow you to basically have synergy with the new uniform, so that way you get the power up and you can use the look because it's unlocked for you, and you would just have the power level of those characters. But neither here nor there, I guess. But it does become relevant to a character like Spot, who more than likely outside of this we will never see again. We will just absolutely never see those again. But let's take a look at the combos for Spot inside here overall. I think he does have a cool combination system inside here. It's very simple and very straightforward. Just simple 3, 4, 5. Not a whole lot to basically be done. Now, one of the things I do really enjoy about the Spot uniform is how much presence it has from the movie. He really feels like ripped out of the Spider-Verse movie. So we go 6, 3, 5, 4. I messed it all up with my delay. It's harder to play the game with a mouse and hit these skill combos, but it's really simple, right? So let's get out of there and exit the skill preview. I want to go back into just looking at his normal skills so that way you can see him. But inside of here, we basically have like Spot skills, and let's take a look at these. So like his first skill, not a whole lot of action happening on, pretty straightforward, but you're never going to really be rotating through that skill in the first place. But even his second skill, they've taken the time to actually incorporate a lot of the skills that we were seeing from there. So we'll turn on the skill cooldown display. So we were doing, like, for instance, you can see inside here, like, he uses the Spot field so that way he can throw his hands and do some damages and some punches. It looks really cool. We go inside here and you can see, like, he's just throwing spots out to everyone. Nice little buff. Got some iframes inside there as well. And then the fourth skill looks absolutely amazing. He's just popping in and out of spots, dimensions, and just dimension hopping, and it looks really good. His fifth skill, I think the fourth skill looks a little bit better, but understanding that you're going 3, 4, 5, it kind of makes sense, right? And the sixth skill, where he basically summons. Now, I thought we were going to end up with a uniform for Scorpion, because for some reason when it was in the live trailer that they were playing, Scorpion definitely looked like he was purple for some reason. I don't know what was going on there, or maybe it's just my color blindness, but it is what it is. So I think overall the skills on Spot look cool, but then we go back to the character and we take a look at the actual skills. This only applies to Spot, so he's not going to be inside of here. He's not going to be in here for any sort of support. Like, even his leadership skill, there's nothing to write home about. So there's no supportability on this character. There's no leadership on this character. So the only place that this character really lives in is if you're using him as a primary damage dealer. That's it. That is legitimately it. So then we go and look at some of his other skills. This first skill wasn't a lot to write home about. Second skill, definitely not a whole lot to write home about. His third skill, he does have his accumulation on this skill. It's only 0.5% inside of there for his accumulation. He does have stun, fear, and silence, right? So that's nice to see. Stun, fear, and silence gives him multiple days inside ABX. Then we get stun and paralysis, and he has a nice frenzy skill on his fourth skill. And his fifth skill, he has incapacitation on that skill. So he's got a nice 3-4-5 rotation. And then when you get to his transcendent skill, there's not a whole lot. This is the first time that we've seen, like, I think I've seen this where a character just doesn't have anything at all on his skill like that. So everything is in the 3-4-5 rotation because, like, it's crazy. You're looking at his sixth skill, it is pretty much like, yo, sixth skill is just a power up for you. Like, I don't know. He gets the invincible for a little bit there. So it's like a weird thing because the character looks pretty good. It looks ripped from the comics, and it's a cool look, but I don't know where this character is going to shine anywhere. So it's one of those characters that, you know, happy that they released it the way they did with the 50 tokens being able to get you there for it. It is what it is, you know, like you can't complain about that. They essentially gave you a paid world character and they gave it to you for free. So it's nice to see that. But if you go inside the shop and you were to take a look inside the store and you were to look at a lot of those the monthly character, especially, why can I never find stuff in here when I intend to find it? But if you were to look at a lot of the characters inside the paywall shop, so any of those exclusive type characters, a lot of those characters are not characters that are going to be seeing the light of day for rehashes. Just not. I hate to say that, but it's just, these are not characters that you're going to more than likely see but so often. And then when you do see them, you're really going to be crying because they are going to require that you pretty much purchase you know, uniform upgrade tickets in order to utilize those characters' uniform options. They're really expensive. So I'm happy to see Spot inside the game, and that, you know, it's a really cool call out to the movie, and he's definitely looks the part. But I don't know that I'm transcending this character. I don't know that I'm transcending this character at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit me up in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.